Good morning, everyone. This morning we are going to touch upon a kind of neurological subject, and that is evolutionary science. And the part of the evolutionary science I have chosen is our intellectual revolution. According to Saint Simon, in 19th century, he discussed about how our intellectual revolution was triggered and what kind of changes that we see today or experienced all through. Since the 19th century to 21st century has been explained by him, and according to him, most of the things and most of the revolutions that we have been experiencing or we have triggered, that was thanks to all of our IR or intellectual revolution. According to Saint Simon, if intellectual revolution would not have actually triggered, nothing would happen. Difference between human and a dumb creature or dumb cattle or dumb animal is only intellectual revolution that human experienced. If animals would have experienced intellectual revolutions instead of man, then today animals would have been controlling us. Cattle would have been acting like human and we would have been acting like cattle. Meaning, elephant would not have allowed human to ride on it, but elephant would have been controlling man. Donkeys would be riding on the back of the human instead of human riding on the back of the donkey or horse. Meaning, every single thing that we see or we have been experiencing in the Homo sapien, in human, in our civilization is all thanks to one thing and one thing alone, and that one singular revolution is intellectual revolution, which has made all kinds of mind-boggling, whopping differences in our civilization. Human civilization owes every single thing to our intellectual revolution. Saint Simon in 19th century has actually studied this intellectual revolution, investing his entire life, and come up with these answers. Since we are time strained, we cannot actually cover all the answers given by Saint Simon, but I have actually chosen 5 points to elaborate what our intellectual revolution has done for us, for our civilization, for our planet Earth, for our society, for all the discoveries and innovations that we see, all kinds of changes in life, all kinds of changes in thoughts, all kinds of changes in scenarios, all kinds of changes in our behavior, in our communication, in our thinking, every single thing that we have been developing is thanks to intellectual revolution, and that is not the end yet. Heydays are yet to come, the best days are yet to come, thanks to our intellectual revolution, and this intellectual revolution has been perennial. It is going to go on and on and on relentlessly until the finale of this Terra Madre, end of our civilization. Our intellectual revolution will be going on persistently, relentlessly, flawlessly. There are 5 points, and the point number 1 is intellectual revolution triggering all the evolutions. Our physical evolutions, our biological evolutions, our communicational evolution, our social evolution, our civilizational evolution, our science and technological evolution, every single evolution. Everything, psychological or biological or neurological or sociological, every single revolution is actually, or every single evolution, I should say, is actually opposite to intellectual revolution. Without intellectual revolution, nothing that we see around, nothing at all. No mobile phone, no micro thing, no macro thing, no proliferation of the society, no information technology, no space technology, no satellite, no remote surgeries, no medical science, no artificial intelligence, no teleportation, nothing at all, absolutely nothing, no cloning, no cell technology, no any kind of wonders that we see around us would have occurred if intellectual revolution would not have taken place. Point number two, intellectual revolution is the mother lode of human civilization. Human civilization that we have built from the time of Mohenjo-daro or now, all the structures like Sky Tree in Japan or Statue of Unity in India or Burj Khalifa in Dubai or you name it, including Statue of Liberty in USA or Eiffel Tower in France or Kaaba or Mecca or Taj Mahal or any kind of structure, any kind of idols, any kind of statues, Khajuraho or any kind of temples which are standing on the top of the mountain today, these and many, many, many other things that we have been taking pride are all the result of intellectual revolution. Without intellectual revolution, nothing would have been possible at all. Even the ideas, the notion, the thinking, the creativity, the productivity, every single thing is directly associated, directly affiliated to our intellectual revolution. Number three, Saint Simon and Simple Simon, both are the products of intellectual revolution. Saint Simon, who has actually given us the concept of intellectual revolution, investing his entire life in discovering and developing the ideas of intellectual revolution. He actually dedicated his entire life to IR. And Simple Simon means idiotic person, nonsensical person, walking around the street without doing anything, doesn't have any kind of cognitive skill, does not have any kind of articulation, doesn't have any kind of sense or sensibility. So both top-notch person like Saint Simon and absolutely barbaric, absolutely illiterate, ignorant person like Simple Simon, both are the creation of intellectual revolution. If someone has actually used intellectual revolution in the proper order, proper way, and invested his time and energy, he becomes a Saint Simon. And that person who has chosen to ignore intellectual revolution, doesn't use his intelligence, doesn't use his cerebral capacity at all, and chooses to either use it or lose it, and he chooses to lose it, that Simple Simon is also the product of lack of intellectual revolution. Point number four, intellectual revolution has given us cerebral capacity in the amount of 10/14. Nature has actually created our cerebral capacity in the tune of 10/14. Some people have used it 10%, some have used it 8%, some have 5%. Some people have used it 0%, totally nada, totally osho, totally zilch. Those people who have not used Intellectual capacity, more than even 1%, those people are simple Simon, totally totally ignorantio, and do not have any kind of product of intellectual creation. Ignorantia syndrome, dyslexia, dementia, these are all the product of ignorantia syndrome, or the person who is ignoramus, totally ignoramus person who has never used his intelligence capacity or cerebral capacity at all. But those people who have created something, those people who are running huge MNCs, those people who are flying and inventing the satellite, inventing spacecraft, inventing all kinds of mind-boggling things. These people have been using their cerebral capacity up to 10, 12, 15%. It has been said that Albert Einstein utilized his cerebral capacity in the tune of about 10%, and he gave us the theory of relativity, general and special both. All the civilizations that we have built during last 150,000 or 150,000 years, 150,000 years that we have built, all the civilization is thanks to only 10% of our cerebral capacity. And that is thanks to intellectual revolution, which has been going on. We have been developing our intellectual revolution. We are boosting it, and we have been actually sharpening our cerebral capacity from 10 or 12% today to about 15 to 20% in the near future, 30 to 40% in the further future. In the long future, we are going to develop 30 to 40% at that time. We would be walking God on this planet, or we would be lesser God on this planet, or we would be demigod on the planet, and nothing but nothing is going to kill us like COVID. Nothing but nothing is going to harass us, bother us, trouble us, give us any kind of pain or grief, because we will overwhelm every single thing, all the hostile forces of nature. We will be above everything. We will be above every virus, every parasite, every pathogen, every bacteria, every exobiological malady, and every astrobiological malady. It is all depends upon intellectual revolution which has been going on, and when we are going to touch around 30 to 40% of our cerebral capacity sharpen, then nothing would be above us, everything will be below us. We will master every kind of hostile forces of nature. We will master temblors. We are going to master tsunami. We are going to master all kinds of tornadoes, cyclone, all kinds of melodies from Earth, means exobiological, astrobiological melody, all kinds of viruses, and nothing but nothing would be above us. We would be overwhelming all kinds of hostile forces of the nature with our 30 to 40% cerebral capacity. Point number 5. Men morphing from Homo erectile to Homo sapien thanks to IR. We were primitive men. We were just Homo erectile. We were moving with our arms and legs just like animal. We also had a tail. But then what happened? This intellectual revolution triggered, sparked off. Just a spark of intellectual revolution began, according to Saint Simon, and we started thinking. We became the thinking animal. Just thinking animal. Like Charles Darwin has said, we are all the social animals, even today. We are animals, nothing else. But difference between common animal, what is the difference between us and a common animal? That common animal does not have intellectual revolution yet. Nobody knows. In future, about 5,000, 10,000 years from now, animal would also trigger somehow the intellectual revolutions, and animals are also going to be sitting next to us, talking about all kinds of political issues, economical issues, all kinds of medical issues, all kinds of issues like COVID or cancer or Alzheimer or Parkinson. They'll be sitting next to us and talking about it. Who knows? Intellectual revolution actually makes all kinds of magical things, all kinds of wonderful things, all kinds of fascinating things. And nobody but nobody knows who is going to have intellectual revolution and who is not going to have intellectual revolution. So, maybe sometimes from now, what happens, nobody knows, but we were Homo erectile. We were actually moving with our arms and legs. All of a sudden, we thought something happened. We start thinking, and we actually became erected. We became human, erected human. We started walking with two legs. We started thinking about our naked body and we started covering it. We started thinking about cooking food. First thing we discovered of this civilization was the fire. So we can cook every single thing. We can defend ourselves from the biting cold and the killing all the icy weathers. And as the time actually went by, we started thinking more and more and more, and a more intellectual revolution was carried out. And today, we have become almost demigod on this planet. We are lesser god on this planet. Carl Sagan, the late Carl Sagan of America, was once asked, the Mr. Carl Sagan, when are we going to see the extraterrestrials? He said, now you can go home and look yourself into the mirror and you're going to find out extraterrestrial, because we are all extraterrestrials. We have all descended from heaven. We have descended from the sky, from the space, from the firmament. We don't belong to earth, we belong to space. So that is evolution, intellectual evolution. Thank you very much for listening, guys. See you again tomorrow. Until then, God bless everyone on this planet. Amen.